The Chicago Sky have made a trade to move up the 8th overall draft pick to number 7. Me and Steve are going to break it all down, talk about it all and more right after this.
Welcome to Chicago Sky Central, and here's your host, Haize.
What's going on, Sky fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Sky Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Sky related. Stevo and Haize in the building today. And Stevo, we got a trade the day before the WNBA draft. The Chicago Sky trade the number 8th overall pick, a second round pick in 2025, right first round picks in 2026, and Sika Koné for Nikolina, Milić, and the 7th overall pick in this draft. To me, when you give up Sika Koné, who is still a young, I believe she's like 22 years old, extremely young player, very talented overseas. You also give up a second round and the right to swap picks next year. To me, this means that the Sky see a player at number 7 that can also be franchise or at least roster altering. They already have the number 3 overall pick. How you feeling about this trade, Stevo?
Definitely came out the woodworks. Like, I definitely didn't see us moving up any further because like we already did more than I would say close to any other team compared to the Seattle. We probably did the most in the offseason, especially for the draft. So when I seen this at first, I just thought it was a little trade, and I looked at it. Whoa, we moved down the pick. So I'm like you said, coming in, I'm like, they definitely seeing somebody that they want. And to me, I text you, I'm like, it gotta be somebody like Angel or Shorty from UConn, because out of all the mock draft, the most consistent person I'm seeing at 7 is Angel. So, and to me, I didn't see her really fitting into going to a Minnesota like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's so many other things we can go to. Like, you can also look at that Isabelle out of Australia, who's a point guard. To me personally, I don't think we're going to be looking at a guard at this position, even though it would make sense because, like you said, Milić is who we just got from Minnesota is a wing /4. She's 6'3", so she could do it. She's more of a tweener between that. But to me, I think they see Angel. She's the most consistent one I've seen at 7 or 8. So I've already said that. And like I said, depending on who we get at 3, whether it's Cardoso or Rakita, putting Angel right next to him is just, especially if they go with the idea who I thought was coming off the bench, you just building a really beefy attitude, aggressive, and a team you're just not going to see on a nightly basis.
Yeah, and I mean, I think when we talked about it before, we've talked about Rakia being the pick at number 3, which still, could make some sense. But if you can get Cardoso, which is your center of the future, right? She can learn behind Elizabeth Williams for a year. Maybe you start her right away, and then you get Angel Reese to be that 4 next to her. Your front court's locked in for as long as they develop. Your front court's locked, and you still got Dana Milić as well. Like, I'm sure if they traded for her, they look at some promise for her. She's still young as well. So this, and you still got Marina Mabrey down there as a guard too. So this is I think that with seeing this trade, and I never like to say things mean anything for 100% fact, but to me, this says that Angel Reese they're hoping for Angel Reese to be that pick. And unless a team reaches, because a lot of mocks still had Angel Reese being there for the Sky at number 8, but this eliminates that question. And it seems like the Sky are now zeroing in on Angel Reese being that pick.
Yeah, because I feel like at this 8 position, it's almost like with the Bears. The 9 is almost a luxury pick where you get the best available. And like you said, it's so many ways you could go about it. Like you said, you could look at the guard position. You could look at Alyssa at Utah, who somebody else I thought we can potentially be looking at. But like I said, you will really be building you lost a lot of your spunk and aggressiveness coming off the bench, or just your whole culture when it comes to the team that you had. Their attitude with aggressive, the way they played defense, the way they ran on fast break. You lost a lot of that when you got rid of Kai. Rebecca got traded, and we lost Elena Smith went on to Dallas, I believe, or Minnesota. So you move and get rid of pieces like that. You got to replace it like that. I get it. We got the coach that's going to build that culture, but you also have to have people that's going to buy in 100%. And somebody like either Cardoso, Rakita, or Angel, they're all fiery players. They all talk shit. They all play hard. And putting them next together is just, especially if we get, first of all, if Cardoso drops to 3, they're stupid. LA is stupid. You don't sit there and let that happen. And it's not too stupid because Rakita is that good, but you just cannot beat 6'7". You cannot teach it. So if you allow us to get a 6'7", somebody, the only player I've ever seen somebody give Cardoso any type of trouble was Angel.
Yeah.
And you gonna possibly put her on the right next to her?
Yep.
Oh Lord, I can't wait to see those practices footages.
And to your point as well, too, like I know last time we talked about WNBA draft, you talked about the potential of Angel coming up and sitting behind Isabelle Harrison a year. Now, with this trade, do you still think that happens, or do you think that they look to do? Okay.
Yeah, because it just, for one, Isabelle, especially at the time that we got her, she was up and rising. Is probably one of the best fours, probably top fours in the league, behind some of the people like Asia and people like that. So, I believe the girl, I can't think of her last name, but the girl in Dallas kind of rose up, who she was kind of in the way of. So they building some stuff down in Dallas. They could build some fours, but
I like
it
what
just
they got in Dallas too.
Yeah, so it's nice. So I just think for what she can do right now, especially offensively, I don't know if Angel's gonna beat her for that top spot list. Angel really been working, as we've been seeing. She's been working on her shot. She's been working on other moves, but Isabelle is too nice, and she's basically the person we building around of. So I see her coming off the bench still.
That's what's up. Yeah, I mean, this is the Sky have in an offseason really rebuilt their roster. I mean, well, we don't know who they're going to draft yet. We'll find out tomorrow. By the way, we will be live tomorrow for the WNBA draft, so make sure you guys are tuned in for that. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell as well, so you know when we go live. But the Sky put themselves in a position to where they are going to have a nice, solid roster after subsequent seasons of losing major players to their core for the last 2 seasons. And they're rebuilding on the fly. This is going to be a season where Dana Evans is going to be thrust into a lot more of a role as well at the guard position, looking at what they've done. And the Sky they're bringing in some young players. They're getting to take a evaluation year because if I'm not mistaken, Dana Evans, this is the last year of her contract as well. So she's going to get that opportunity to really show, so the Sky can make that decision on what to do with her long-term next offseason. And it's going to be a fun season to watch for the Sky, man.
It's definitely gonna be a fun season in general, just to watch the W's. Too many women coming in that has the personality that we've been paying attention to, especially the last 2 years. So it's so many things to be looking at, but especially here, like you said, it's crazy the amount of time they flipped. They didn't make us worried too much either. Like, that's one thing I noticed about it. Like, with the Bears situation, it's stressful, but like, we got rid of Kai, and as soon as we got rid of Kai, we started making moves straight off that. Not too long after we made the move after Kai, we learned that we traded for the 8th pick. So I'm like, okay, now you seeing that. Then day before the draft, we ain't even talking about some of the signings we did along that, but the day before the draft, you trade up to get an extra pick because you want the person that you've been looking at for the most part. Yeah.
So
it's I love to watch it. I can't wait to watch.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun draft to break down and watch what the Chicago Sky to do to put themselves up. And it's exciting, man. It's an exciting time for Sky basketball. We're moving into a new phase. Dwayne Wade has ownership, a new GM, a new coach, and Spoon. And one thing you know about Spoon is literally going to get the most out of these players. Spoon didn't come here to suck for 2 or 3 years while we try to figure out the roster. Coach Spoon came here to build a winning program and to get this team winning as soon as possible. Because of that, I just don't see this being something where we look at it and say, hey, we're 4 years into a rebuild and we've been sucking for those 4 years. So
exactly. And just to answer this question, he says, why is people so crazy about Angel? She plays dirty, she plays victim. Remember the video at the
I see it. First of all, don't you ever come to something with black people saying you people. I need you to fix that first of all. You can't say you people. Secondly, does she play? No, she doesn't play dirty. Does she play physical? Absolutely. And I, for one, love that in Chicago sports. We want physical play, and plays victim. I can get where you're getting at with that, but nah, man. Come on. What we do?
I don't think she plays victim. I don't get what people's getting at all of. Yeah, she talks her shit, but y'all call her at a time when she lost. Of course, she's gonna cry. Of course, she's gonna talk about the shit that she's been dealing with. She hasn't been saying shit up until that point. So and then when people just say stuff like that, it just made me question: are you really watching the women's game? Because there's 1,500 Angel Reeses out there. They are way more physical than the men. Cardoso push, scratch, claw too, but nobody says nothing about that. Kaylin push, scratch, claw too. If y'all been watching Angel like y'all say y'all watch, no, y'all haven't, because she been her and Kaylin been going at it for years, but way before she got to LSU. But y'all not watching.
I would say that as far as the physicality part of it, Elena Smith it was just as physical as Angel Reese is. Like she elbowed people right in their chest several times for rebound.
What's shorty off Phoenix you can't stand? Charlotte Flair.
Oh,
what's her name?
Charlotte Flair. Dang, what is her name?
Sophie Cunningham.
Yeah, Sophie Cunningham.
She, if anybody's dirty, is her, but we don't even trip on it because in the NBA and basketball, there's always a player like there that's not that good athletically or anything that has to do a little more mind games with you. That's a part of the game, is mind games. Can I elbow you in the head, bro? Like I said, you say she pulls hair and throws elbows. You honestly think she's the only person that does that? That's what I'm saying. Y'all not watching.
How much basketball have you watched? Because throwing elbows as a forward is just part of the game.
Have you watched the KG game? Have you watched Kevin McHale back in the day? That motherfucker used to bow motherfuckers in the neck. Pulling hair.
Come on, man.
When you have hair down to your ass, it's hard to not get hair tangled up into your fingers. You don't see that in NBA because guess what? We don't have hair down to our ass. She ain't fucking pulling hair. Her hair is getting caught in her hands. She got nails. Y'all just be trying to hate on shit, bro. Like, like I said, if you watching the actual game, they're feisty. All of them are feisty. You can go look up a Kelsey Plum interview right now. She said, y'all won't even believe the shit that goes on in locker room. Y'all don't even want to hear the stuff we say on the court. It's way worse than the men. And if some of y'all got women's in y'all life, y'all should know that. But I ain't gonna go that far.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's funny. Andrew says we don't need a crybaby, but he's literally in here whining about stuff right now. I don't get it.
What time?
Yeah, it is, bro. It is what it is. That's where you got to actually watch the game over believing the narrative, bro. That's crazy. That's wild. With that said, any last thoughts, Steve, before we get up out of here, man?
Hey, like I said, make sure y'all tune in tomorrow. It ain't gonna be one of them long days. Thank the gods. We got God was on our side today. He gave us. We gonna be out here. We probably won't even be here for 30 minutes because we making moves. We finna come for the future. So make sure y'all tune in tomorrow. It's gonna be lit. And I'm just looking to see where a lot of other these people go because it's gonna be a definitely lit draft.
It's going to be a fun draft. This is a draft with probably one of the most star powers coming into the WNBA in any one draft in a while. And so it's going to be also interesting to see how the WNBA markets this. One thing that if you guys haven't watched a lot of WNBA drafts, it flows. It's not like the NBA draft where you got to wait around. It flows. You're probably going to be through the first round of the draft probably within 20 minutes. So
20 to 30 minutes. In and out.
Yeah. So, but guys, make sure you guys stay tuned in. Like I said, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell as well, so you know when we go live. And we get it scheduled tonight, so you guys also can get notifications for that. But for Stevo, I'm Haize. This has been Chicago Sky Central, and we out, y'all. Peace.